He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I'm flushing it, I don't stick to this.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.
Hello, and welcome back to Under the Covers, a golf podcast where we deep dive each week into the latest PGA Tour winners' bag. We're your hosts. My name is Dominic. We have Kevin with us. How we doing, Kevin?
Doing great, Dominic. Cavs are currently up 15 on the Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Championship. So let's keep it rolling, baby.
That's massive. And we have Matthew with us as well. What's going on, Matt?
Gentlemen, I got 2 gloves here ready to go for this.
If you're not watching on the video, pull up the video.
You need the video. That was incredible.
Kevin, do you feel like the Cavs Knicks series is a little bit of a who's gonna go get body slammed by either the Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yeah, it's varsity, junior varsity. This is the junior varsity side for sure.
I'm good. I'm glad we're on the same page. No, things are good over here in the deep South, Dom. The tour's coming to Dallas. This Sunday was must watch TV. Old golf Twitter came out with Aronomink. I'm sorry, gosh. And man, it just was like a leaderboard. It just was like, oh, he's in the lead. He's in the lead. He's in the lead. John Rahm's gonna win. No, he's not. It's Aaron Rai. It's crazy.
I do want to bring that up later about old golf Twitter, but that is a great point. That leads us in to our winner of the PGA Championship, Aaron Rai, the Englishman. It is his second and a half career win. I say half because he also won the par 3 contest at Augusta. But he is the first Englishman to win the PGA Championship since 1919. Massive for the country. The first non-American to win the PGA Championship since just Jason Day in 2015, which is hilarious because Matt and I last week talked about where's all the American talent recently, and they've just been winning PGA Championships, I guess. So then Aaron Rai is also the first PGA Championship winner who has ever had a better score after each round, which is very fun, very impressive, kind of speaks to his personality. So opening round of 70, then he had a 69, 67, 65 for a total of 9 under to outlast John Rahm and Smalley, I guess we can say. But very fun ending there. It was, like Matt said, very back and forth, just with a very crunched leaderboard. And I think we can kind of get to Rory's comments a little bit later. But the double glove, the iron covers, the castle tees, which the only other person I've seen actually play those is also British. Sean, I hope you're listening. And Matt's got the double gloves on again. I feel like he's everything that the early 2000s golf world would freak out about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why people hate iron covers so much.
He's a walking infomercial that you wake up after you fell asleep watching Golf Channel on like a Friday night, and you wake up and there's some someone trying to sell you a tee that's going to make you hit it 8 yards further or whatever, some BS thing. Like it's amazing, but to each his own, right? He figured it out. He obviously played the best, and he deserves to win, right? Like, I mean, he does it his own way. He seems like one of the genuinely nicest guys out there. Everybody seems to love him. So super pumped for Aaron Rai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as Dom pointed out earlier this year, he was bound for big things, and he's been playing well all season, and then just really capitalized on a very difficult golf course.
Yeah, Kevin and I were talking this weekend about Rory's comments a little bit about the bunch leaderboard thing and how you can just bomb it and then you'll be fine. But as our beautiful TikTok comment section let us know, is Aaron Rai does not bomb it. You know, he averages like, I think it's somewhere in the 280s. I don't exactly remember, but he doesn't hit it very far, but he was top 5 in driver accuracy this week. So that kind of leads to having those better approach shots. Cause I think he was number 1 in approach, like, into the green, but it's just, it really shows how important it is sometimes. Like, I think they took it personally whenever Rory said, yeah, it's just a bomber's paradise. We'll figure it out later. So they made the rough really long. They made it really hard to have those like second shots if you're making it bad. I mean, there was one graphic that showed if you hit it in the left rough, or sorry, if you hit it in the fairway, 90% of the players were hitting birdie from there. If you went right of the fairway, you were like 40%, and then left, it was in between these bunkers, you were at like 15% of the players were hitting birdie. So super important. And it's just like, you don't really always need to bomb it, you know, shorter course. So he really just hit all the shots that he needed to hit.
I think like Aronomink really showed out. I think a lot of people, like you said, were saying that it was going to be a terrible major and, you know, it was just going to be a bigger PGA Tour event. That was like a real golf course. Now, did they put the pins? I think they put the pins in some really hard spots for sure. And I forget the guy that does the course setup for the PGA of America, whatever his name is. Keith Pelly, maybe something like that. He obviously like tricked it out. Like pins make that golf course. But I think also the rough, it almost seemed like the rough wasn't long or like super long. Like it wasn't US Open long, but the grass was so thick that you couldn't hit out of it, even if you were when you were in the rough. So it made it like, again, I always go back to like those tour guys are so good. They only struggle when they lose control. And the way you make them lose control is you take away spin and you take away the predictiveness that they have. And kind of rough like that and really tough pins make it really hard. But yeah, I think it was super bunched up. That was probably more due to the pins. And I get the argument there on Twitter from the golf course architecture folks, like, you know, Noling Up and the Fried Egg and stuff, of the pins were so hard that even the best iron players couldn't go after the pins because they were, and so everybody was having 20 footers for birdie and 25 footers. Like it was almost so hard they had to aim for the green or the middle of the green and take it 2-putt from there. So there wasn't a lot of doubles, but there also wasn't a lot of birdies, which made for a bunched up leaderboard. But I don't mind a bunched up leaderboard. Like it was cool on Sunday being like, I have no idea who's going to win.
Exactly.
It was so fun.
Yeah, I think Justin Rose was the interview I was watching, but he was saying it was kind of like it was similar to Kikuyu grass, or it was Kikuyu grass, something like that. But we talked about that with Riviera, where it's just really tough to hit from. Right. But yeah, to your point, there was a lot of duffs from the rough. Even Rory had a couple that just they didn't look very good. But then most of them still end up in the fairway, and you just get up and then 2-putt from there. So makes a lot of sense. It was very interesting. I think golf Twitter is a weird animal right now, where you just kind of find the most popular take and everyone jumps on that. Like no one really thinks for themselves anymore. I didn't dislike this tournament at all, but like from the little bit that I was watching, but maybe it's just because I didn't get to watch too much. We were having a lot of fun.
Yeah. There was 2 things I wanted to point out about the course. I think Matt was spot on in our preview talking about how the PGA Championship doesn't really like emphasize the golf course and like the notoriety of the golf course. And I felt like the coverage like was laying into Philadelphia, everything Philly fans, you know, all of the rumors about what Philly fans have done, and like couldn't care less about the actual golf course itself. Like it was just, you know, you heard Philly, go Birds, you know, all the stuff in the crowd. And I feel like they like really emphasize that. Just like Aronomink, you know, it's just happened to be some patch of grass that a golf course was being, you know, hosted at in Philly. But with that, This year I've become totally obsessed in tracking like the hardest holes on the PGA Tour. And Aronomink actually got now 3 of the top 6 for the 2026 season. So number 8 and number 10 are now 2 and 3 on the season, respectively. And then number 15 is number 6 overall. So they've got 2 out of the top 3, 3 out of the top 6 for the hardest holes so far on the year. It'll be pretty fun to see come the end of the year where those, end up actually finishing out. But, like Matt was saying, not being able to control the spin. You guys referenced like how difficult the pins were. It's kind of funny that we've got a par 3 as our number 2 hardest hole on the golf course right now. And it's a 242 yard par 3. But fun stuff there with Aronomink.
That's gnarly. Par 3s being that hard.
I'd like to point out, I think his name, I can't even remember his name. I always just know him as Joseph Lasagna on Twitter, but I think it's Lamagna. He does the fried egg stuff.
Okay.
He's like Eeyore. He's so negative. He's like, this isn't even a major because the course is so bad. Like blah blah blah. Like, just be happy that you have on Sunday you have a bunch leaderboard and you don't know who's gonna win. Because it's like every time he's like, because he was like, well, somebody should be able to separate, and because the course is so bad and it's not set up correctly, nobody can separate. It's like, okay, if somebody separated, then we would just have a boring Sunday and nobody would know who's gonna win.
And then he would say the same thing, that it was boring. So like that's where I'm getting at, where he heard Rory say it after he had a bad round because he was complaining because he's like, oh, I couldn't score. So then he turned around and had a great Saturday, and then you just change his comments like, yeah, it's actually a pretty good course. So it's like nobody knows what to think because nobody, like Rory is back and forth. So it's like, oh, what do I do? It's so interesting. But I think we can get back to Aaron Rai. We got a little deep in the weeds of the tournament there, but I'll say one more thing. On the bachelor party, we had a fan interaction. Kevin and I did. I want to shout out Alejandro. I want to shout out Clay, and they were giving us hyped up on the podcast. It was very fun to hear. But Clay had Aaron Rai in his picks for his pool that he had, so he picked the winner, which is sweet. So we were following that pretty heavily. He had like Goddard, Rai, Kevin, do you remember? I can't remember. He had a really good round.
It was JJ Spawn, because JJ sucked, and then I don't remember his 4th.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Clay, Alejandro, thank you for listening. Kevin, let us know, what does Aaron Rai have under the covers?
Yeah, so really wild bag, as Matt said, info-mercial type of guy with goofy tees and gloves and stuff, but his bag is all over the place, but fun, and that's why we do what we do. So TaylorMade M6 driver with Aldila Synergy Blue 70 TX. You can actually buy this shaft online at Mike's Golf Outlet for like $90, or I'm sure if you go to Kenny Riley at the Gimme Golf Club, he'll strike you an even better deal. But mid-launch, mid-spin on the shaft in a pretty forgiving head from 2019. Dom and I have a very good friend who doesn't listen to the pod, even though he says he will, who plays this driver. We'll see if he catches that one, but doubt it. Very forgiving, the old style of, TaylorMade, before they went to the full carbon face and all the stealth and, QI 35, QI 40 stuff that they're doing. So he really likes that, versus probably the carbon face and some of the newer technologies. Kind of interesting. He plays like an older shaft that's like not as exotic or as premium as some of the other tour players. Especially then when you talk about his 3-wood, we've discussed the QI 10 quite a lot in winner's bags, and his 3-wood is like basically out of every tour player's bag. QI 10, 15 degree Ventus Blue 8X. So, he plays a ultra premium tour level, shaft in his 3-wood, but not in his driver. So interesting thing there, but works out for him when he's as accurate as he was this week on tour or on the PGA Championship. Note there, 6th straight major for the QI10 3-wood.
So
what do you guys think about that?
I want to talk about that one because somebody threw that stat out on Twitter, and this is why Twitter is, this is why stats are stats, and you can put holes in everything. Yes, the QI10 3-wood is a goated 3-wood. Might be on the Rocket Balls level of 3-woods long term. But if you look at the last 6 majors champion winners, they've been it's been
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
It's literally been Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, JJ Spahn, Aaron Rai. And I think Scotty and Rory have won 4 of those. So take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, you're going to have the same 3-wood in the bag when you have the same 2 guys winning most of the majors. Grain of salt.
To fast forward a little bit, so then how many straight majors has the Spider won?
Well, not JJ Spahn.
Yeah.
JJ Spahn lab, but
he's a lab guy. Yeah.
One of the last 6.
Sorry, 5 out of it.
Yeah, 5 out of
the last 6.
Yeah.
Can I ask? So, you were talking about the carbon face, and was it titanium on the M6?
Mm-hmm.
So, is that technology switch? Is that where the forgiveness comes in? Like, I think Matt, you were talking about it maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, where you can hit it anywhere on your face, and you really don't lose that much distance. Is that the main technology upgrade of changing to the carbon face, or what actually is it?
No, I think the forgiveness comes from how big these heads are and how far back the center of gravity is, and like things that they do of that nature. I don't know, Kevin. I feel like the TaylorMade carbon face is pure marketing.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
I really don't believe it does anything different. And honestly, I think it's been almost bad marketing, because I think they've had a bunch of quality issues with the carbon face, and they've had more faces break and or like build quality issues because of carbon face versus not. I don't know. That's just at least what I feel.
Yeah, there's definitely some like face thickness, what am I trying to say? Like the way that they build the face thickness can add to the forgiveness. And you can see, like, you look at the inside of a driver, it's not just like perfectly smooth on the other side, the side not where the golf ball hits. So there's a part of that there, but I think on the carbon, it's just 100% marketing that they're trying to just have something that sounds pretty like buzzwordy and stands out. But like Matt said, they've had a bunch of quality issues. TaylorMade has had a lot of quality issues with like the carbon crowns, like the epoxy coming off and just leaving the bottom of the driver still attached. So they've had a lot of that, but unless you're like a real like golf sicko, you probably don't really even see it. You've got to be like really following stuff or have a friend that it happened to, see it. And you probably do have to play a lot of golf, to hit your driver enough to cause one of those damages. But I think TaylorMade's been pretty good warranty wise of helping people out with replacements. So I've heard. So yeah, I don't think there's all that much to the carbon face. It might be a feel and sound thing that, someone might like over titanium, but I'd say most probably still prefer titanium.
Yeah, I wonder if that was like because they weren't the first person to do, or first place to do the carbon, right?
They were.
Oh, they were. Okay.
Yeah.
So never mind. I was going to say maybe they were following suit, that it was doing well. But so you said, going back a little bit, you said the thickness of the driver. So you weren't meaning the ground to top thickness. You were meaning literally the face that
face thickness.
Ball.
Yeah. They can they have to keep it within USGA regulations, but they can move it around, and they try to make it almost like a trampoline type effect. When it hits the ball, they want it to deflect as much as they're allowed to, so that they can add ball speed.
Yeah, I was doing some digging one day and talking to some club junkies and stuff like that, and some guys that used to work in the tour truck, and they actually say right before the driver breaks, like right before there's a crack in the face, it gets its hottest. So that's when like that's when you'll hit it the furthest. So you might like the 30 drives right before you crack a driver, you might have your longest drives you ever hit, and then boom, it's cracked. It's almost like a point with like metals where it like poof, it goes up, and then it's a little bit of like a, you know, darkest before the dawn kind of situation, if you know what I mean. But it supposedly, like, yeah, there's the properties of driver. You really want to get it to that end point. Kind of like that's like the way that the face will flex. Essentially, the face will flex more and more right before it's about to break. But in that little sweet zone, you hit some bombs.
Yeah, and you remember like when Rory won the Masters last year, everyone was freaking out like a couple of weeks later about he had to change out drivers because, you know, it became non-conforming with like how much it was flexing. And then people were trying to say, oh, he won the Masters with a non-conforming driver, and it's like, no, that just happens a lot. He's hitting drivers, you know, how many times per day, and he's really wearing them out. So he certainly had some hot ones when he won the Masters, but similar concept there.
So is it kind of like an aluminum bat, like where you kind of have to break it in a little bit, or is it always fine? It just gets a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, just more flexible, just more trampoline-like eventually.
Nice. All right, well, let's get back to the clubs. What does he have on a 5-wood?
Yeah, QI10 as well. Ventus Blue 8X, so same shaft between these. I think the 5-wood actually may be the TR, so slightly different than the 3-wood. And then he's got a 5 hybrid. So he plays a Titleist GT2, 24 degree, the tune down to 23. And then he's got the Mitsubishi Tensei CK Pro White Hybrid Shaft 90 TX. We've talked about Tenseis here on the show in the past, but more towards the Tensei Orange, counterbalance shaft. The Tensei White wouldn't be quite as stout as the Orange, but I guess still similar to, you know, how he's playing like the Ventus Blue. That seems pretty consistent. I think 5 hybrid is kind of a uncommon Tour Pro selection, so goes back to Matt's infomercial comment, but you know, to each their own there. You know, we've seen utility irons and other types of clubs, so this is just his version of that. What do you guys think there?
It's bent down a little bit. It's almost like a little bit. I would call it like almost like a 4.5 hybrid. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think in a way it's like the 5 hybrid to me feels like what a 7 would have felt like to me 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just like a club reserved for your grandpa. Like, you know, real players don't play that, you know, but apparently they play all sorts of different things nowadays.
Now they do.
Well, if anyone's going to do it, it's Aaron Rai.
Yeah. He probably had a 7 wood like 8 years ago. On his irons, we've got the P7 TWs, same irons that Scotty Scheffler plays, 5 through 9. True Temper Dynamic Gold S300 stock model, not the tour issue on the shaft. Kind of bizarre there, what he's looking for.
The only difference between the stock model and the tour model is the tour model's made at a tighter tolerance, so all the shafts weigh exactly what they're supposed to weigh. Like the stock model, they can be off by like a couple grams.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, there's literally no difference in the shaft. It's just the tolerances are tighter.
It seems like he's just if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of guy.
He might be.
Yeah, it seems like it. I know there's been lots of stories going around about Aaron Rai, you know, and why he uses the gloves and why he uses the iron covers and all that. I'd be interested to know, like, what's the story behind, you know, the acquisition of these irons? Like, did he just like pick them off the shelf somewhere and they weren't given to him from TaylorMade? You know, I don't know. You have heard like stories in the past of like a PGA player goes to like Golf Galaxy and just like picks up something because they want it, and I don't know, maybe that's the case here. I doubt it, but That'd
I
be
think
fun to find out.
P. Reed did that for what major was it? He had to go pick up a 3-wood from a PGA store right before he started, and then he ended up like top 5.
It was probably some U.S. Open or something. I feel like that's where it was at.
Anyways, let's
He
continue.
probably made it up. All right, so then moving along to his wedges, some interesting choices here on his wedges. A couple model year old Titleist Vokey SM9s. Matt apparently loves these with the goofy wedges. 46-degree pitching wedge bent to 44. He's got that nicely stamped on there. And then a 48 that is bent to 49. So he's de-lofting the pitching wedge and then adding loft to his gap wedge. Interesting choices there. The stamping's kind of cool. Then he moves up to the SM11 on his 54 and 60 degree. And then here's the strangest part of his bag probably is using the stock S300s on his irons, but then using the tour issue S300s on his wedges. I don't really know what to say there.
It's totally what was just in his wedge. I feel like he's not even looking at it. I feel like he doesn't even care.
Probably.
But
maybe that's like a difference between just what the tour rep kept on the Titleist fan versus what the TaylorMade guy kept on his.
Ooh, yeah, starting.
That seems like a Titleist thing, just a little extra premium.
But gosh, I can't. These wedges, first of all, I love a good pair of Vokeys, right? If at least he's playing the right sets. But I love when a guy gets a pair of SM9s in the bags or like an old wedge that he can't get out of the bag, and he's got 2 in there, the 46 and 44. SM9s were great wedges. I was a big fan of that line. I think that was one of their. I think SM8 and SM9 were really good. I'm not the biggest SM10. I'm not sure on the SM11s yet, so we'll see there. But I think he could do a little bit better with his stamping. Maybe like we rise up. Kind of doing some cool stuff. I don't know. There's definitely some things that he could do with the wedge, with his wedge.
That was so cheesy. It would fit him perfectly.
It would.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
But he cool wedges. Big fan of the Vokes.
What is a WedgeWorks? Like, what is the actual differentiator of WedgeWorks?
That is, so WedgeWorks is their like tour custom shop essentially. So you can get custom grinds and such as that. We don't see a lot of L grinds, Kevin. I feel like that's one we don't see very much. I feel like that's an interesting grind.
I don't believe we've covered one yet on Under the Covers. A lot of FMKs, but I don't think we covered any Ls.
I believe it sits between the M and the T. So the T grind is the tour grind, right? That super thin sole, and the M grind is kind of a wider sole. And I think the L sits almost a little bit between that. So like a little bit narrow, but not as narrow as the T, and then kind of, but gives you more relief on those super tight lies than the M grind, I guess. So, I don't think you can get this from PGA Tour Superstore. I believe this is a WedgeWorks only grind. So for those of you who want to order, go to WedgeWorks, put the 250 in, get an L grind out.
We got to try it. We all got to get one.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So then his putter, it is the TaylorMade Spider Tour V. So here's a question for you guys. Do we count that as a win for the Spider, even though it's a different shape than we've covered previously on Under the Covers? I don't think we've had a Tour V win yet.
Because it's a custom putter, isn't it?
He doesn't have the...
Right.
Go for it, Matt.
I think he has a custom flow neck on it.
Mm-hmm. custom flow neck, and he doesn't have the like True Viz alignment that would be stock, but he does use the stock, pure roll insert.
I think we count it. I mean, it's got TaylorMade Spider on it. I appreciate the question, but I do think it's still a Spider. It's the mallet. It's from TaylorMade. And
it's the same general idea of the putter, right?
High MOI putter, yeah.
High MOI, weight on the wings, right? Like that whole thing. It's just that putter. Somebody put one of those in Ludwig's hand. Just, damn, that's all I have to say. Somebody go take that stupid whatever paintbrush out of his bag and put a Spider in there. He'll probably win something.
Would he have won every tournament if he had a Spider in his bag?
He might have.
The man can't putt to save his life. Well, Kevin, what do you think? Do you think we should count it?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's the right concept with high MOI mallet. The pure roll insert is still at least TaylorMade's thing. For whatever reason, I can't like really describe it, but I find this one to be just like so ugly. Like that flow neck, I do not love. I'd like to get it in my hands and actually see it, but I don't love that shape, in comparison to what we're used to seeing with the Spider. I kind of like the bigger wings. If you're going to play a Spider, I like those like weight ports. But I guess, when TaylorMade was coming out with different lines, they wanted to offer some different shapes, pick up, people who may not like the bigger head or the weight ports or whatever. But this one's definitely not my favorite.
That flow neck is pretty thick too. Like looking at the face head on, it kind of looks like Phil Mickelson a little bit. Like it just looks like it kind of flows all the way into it. Just one piece of metal. It's kind of strange.
There was a day when I used to love a good flow neck, like the Odyssey 9, but for whatever reason, I've just like way fallen off of the appeal of a flow neck.
We might have to make a specific area in our club tracker for type of Spiders that win. Spiders are blowing people out of the water, right? Right. So it's like, what was the most popular Spider out of all the Spiders? I think that's going to be an interesting one to look at.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually a good time to bring that up. Matt has created a website for us, underthecoversgolf.com. Go check it out. It gives you access to all of our episodes, our one and done tracker, as well as Matt's newsletter that he writes every week. And then also it's our club tracker. So you can kind of go see what we were just talking about. It shows every driver, 3-wood, irons, all the manufacturers that are the winners. And then it kind of gives you a good look at kind of which club makers are doing the best. So it's a pretty sweet website. So go check it out. Underthecoversgolf.com.
Yeah, so then moving into his ball, he's got a couple model year old Titleist Pro V1. So he likes some old stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
And it's like an old Pro V, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of years old style. So, and then I think the next part you were particularly excited to focus on. What's that, Dom?
Yeah, we got to talk about his gloves. We never go into gloves on Under the Covers, but with him wearing 2, it's so interesting that we have to talk about it. So the brand is Mac Wet Micro Mesh Rain Gloves. They come in multiple colors. Aaron Rai rocks the all black. It's got a short cuff on it, so it doesn't go all the way down his wrists. So that kind of gives you a little more dexterity and kind of free movement. But very interesting website that I found, and I wanted to kind of go through some of the verbiage that they have in the description. So it's a short-cut mesh gloves. They're lightweight and breathable, that allows close contact and great grip, which it's designed for warm weather and kind of get some airflow in the palms. So I guess it kind of helps you with consistent grip on both hands. So I'm curious how that works, because typically pretty much every golfer that uses a glove You use it on your top hand, or would you say top hand? It's closer to your body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's on your top hand, and then your other hand is no glove, and that's so you you keep that stability in the bottom hand, so you can kind of be grounded to the club. And the reason people don't do two is because it gives you more chance for that fabric to kind of slip. If let's say you're sweaty, or just fabric in general is kind of unpredictable sometimes. But it's a unique Aquatech fabric and moisture wicking technology that keeps the clubs from kind of getting that slippery movement in your swing. It's really, no one I think has ever done that before on tour. I'm assuming, having both gloves.
Two gloves,
Tommy
yeah.
Two Gloves
Tommy Two
Haney.
Gloves.
Hey, I apologize. Hand up. Y'all
But
came with the tell me that quick.
But I think he got popped for. I think he got popped in a prostitution ring at one point.
Oh yeah.
Mistaken.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Heard he's not a fantastic family guy.
Yeah.
taking double glove love to heart, huh?
Very fast tangent on him. When we were at the Valero Texas Open, player we were following was playing with Tommy Two Gloves, and you guys are dying over there.
Sorry, continue. Go for it.
So we're following someone who's playing with him, and we had just heard his whole rumored checkered past, not family guy, potential affair, however that worked. And then there's just like this young girl who is wearing basically no clothing, who's just like walking around following him, and apparently was like a bartender who would serve his like custom parties. It just seemed to like really fit the stories we were hearing. It was quite bizarre. Anyways, big tangent.
You hear a lot of news about people, and you're like, I wonder if that's actually true. And that one proved it right in front of you.
But he's back. He's beating people up on the Champions Tour right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't it just like that thing when, basically when anyone first
Turns.
qualifies for the Champions Tour, they just go and beat up all the other old guys.
Yeah. Until they even out. So, Mac Wet Gloves, the last tagline I'll use is, and I quote, "Bait a fishing rod, load a gun, or adjust tack with ease, keeping your gloves on, ready for action." Which Aaron Rai was ready for action, winner of the PGA Championship. Super happy for him. I think all over everyone's saying how nice of a guy he is, how good of a guy he is. So very fun for him to get the win. Matt, I think it's time to maybe get a little bit more of a PGA recap. We kind of went to it in the beginning, but let us know what you saw during this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think we hit the high points, right? The course talk was the big point. Is Aronomink a good major championship golf course? Is it not a good major championship golf course? I don't know. I don't know about you guys. If I got an invite to play there, I would go play. I mean, I think so. I don't
Twist my arm.
Yeah, twist my arm. It looks sweet. Like, it looks like a cool place. Cool vibe. The leaderboard, I think, I mean, it was awesome, right? You had Alex Smalley, and then all that stuff came out about Alex Smalley's mom, and it was like his whole thing where she's like all up in his business every day and everything, about like she's like his manager, his like nearly caddy, tracks every one of his stats.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. They kind of like were talking about it, and then it was like quickly they like left off of it. They were like, okay, we're not going to bring that up anymore, because like I don't think they wanted to like dive into it very much.
Oh, weird. The only thing I saw was her walking up with him, and then everyone was like freaking out about it. So I'm like, he's just walking in with his mom. What's so weird about that? I did not know she's super involved.
Yeah, golf Twitter was all up in it.
Non-golf segue here. The Cavs blew their massive lead, tied 9 seconds left.
Oh my gosh.
I'm about to have a heart attack.
Try not to react.
Oh, Sam Merrill. Damn it. Oh, no. Oh,
So,
overtime. All right.
So
Why did Sam Merrill get the last shot?
then
That's
you
funny.
had a bunch of top players, right? Like Rory kind of hating on the golf course, which was like whatever. But you know, I think we can hit on our draft board a little bit. I would like to call out that I had one of the things that I won with in there was an altercation between one of the Euros and the fans, and there was two.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah,
How many?
two.
Yeah, how many, Matt?
Two.
Please go watch the video if you can.
So yeah, there was the John Rahm divot thing, which was hilarious. He basically like had a bad shot, and then he like swung and like hit the ground, and then he took a big divot, and then like the divot went hit like hit one of the guys people in the workers in the face. So and then somebody asked him about it, and he was like, "Wow, I was trying to take an air swing or whatever," and it was like, "Shut up! You weren't trying to take an air swing. You're just mad that the divot hit somebody in the face." That was hilarious. And then later that on Sunday, I think somebody said something to Rory, and he told him to go shut the F up. So that was funny. And then he kind of pointed at him. He said, "You get out of here." Took him out. That was fantastic. I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I just had a feeling.
You called it, and it's we've talked about it before during the Matt Fitzpatrick recap, but find something else to yell at these guys. Why are you chanting USA still? That's so stupid.
I picked Bryson to miss the cut. He famously, I think the funniest thing I saw was somebody was like, Bryson's he's going to try to break 80 at the PGA Championship, his next YouTube video. I thought that was good. That one was good.
That's a good one. And then another heater, I called the Mr. McLaren getting top 10. Justin Rose ended up T10, which is very fun.
You did.
Matt Fitzpatrick and Alex Fitzpatrick. Kevin, he predicted that Alex was going to do better than Matt. And this was the one weekend where they flipped. So Matt, let me restart. Matt ended T14, and then Fitzpatrick, I keep saying their last name. It's hard to do this with brothers. Alex ended up finishing like he was 8 over. He was way down there on the leaderboard. I genuinely thought that was going to be an awesome pick.
Mm-hmm. I thought so too, and that very quickly turned. There was a moment in time where it was looking like all of my picks were like just dead wrong. It's like my one and done. Ludwig didn't start great. Cameron Young didn't start great. Brooks was playing well, and I said he was going to miss the cut. If Brooks could have learned how to putt before this week, like he may have won. His proximity to the hole was, unreal. He was playing well and everything else. He just could not make a single putt. Same with Scotty. We've said maybe it's potentially overblown at how bad of a putter Scotty is, because season long he's good, but that was also brutal to watch. I know that's not related to our draft picks, but two rough putters there, both using the spider.
Kevin, I was so confident Ludwig wasn't going to win because I knew he was going to have some 4 or 5 footers coming down the stretch that he was not going to make. So I was supremely confident on Saturday night that there was no shot at that.
I heard the announcer, he said at one point, Ludwig Oberg, who leads the field this week in strokes gained approach, has played his last 27 holes without making a putt of 7 feet or longer.
That's the stat you want right there.
It's dark times for Mr. Oberg.
Which Aaron Rai, I think I forgot the exact number, but it was like something around 60 putts, and he missed one of them from 10 feet. Like he had
That's
60
insane.
putts like from 10 feet, and he missed one of them.
He just got hot on the back 9, right? He made putts on the back 9 and separated finally.
You get the shots, man. Hit the shots.
I've got to hit on Garrett Higo. That was hilarious.
Explain the situation first.
Okay, so Garrett Higo, I was doing something. I was at work, but I was not paying attention. And I get home and I look at golf Twitter, and golf Twitter has just exploded about Garrett Higo. My mom is texting me about Garrett Higo. And
Did Smalley's mom text you about Garrett Higo too?
Smalley's mom did not text me about Garrett Higo. And I see all these things where he showed up to the tee and the guy's like, "You're late," and he's like, "Well, I'm not late," and like, and then so I finally, like, watching his interview, he's like, "Well, I was late, but like, I was only a second late, so like, I wasn't late, but the rule is written: if you're 1 second late, you're late.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 2-stroke penalty. It's that simple."
He had the audacity to go, "You know what I mean, right?" And the guy's like, "No, I don't know what you mean."
Dom, that reminds me of that feels like one of our college roommates isms. "Well, I was late, but I wasn't that late." Come on, man.
It absolutely is.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, how late was I? The clock still said 7:18 technically.
That's right. I think Garrett Higo reminds me of that meme that's like, you have two brain cells and they're fighting against each other. Like, he doesn't seem like the smartest rock in the room, if you know where I'm going with that one. And then he fired his caddy.
Yeah, well, I was actually curious after that scenario, because he even said, "My caddy was yelling at me." And this was the first interaction that he had with the media. He said, "My caddy was yelling at me," and he was kind of laughing about it. And then after the fact, in the post-game interview, when he was, 2 strokes off the lead on Friday, then he changed his whole story. And he was saying, "Well, if I knew I was running late, then that would have been nice." So basically blaming his caddy. So, like, did he fire his caddy, or did his caddy say, "F this, I'm out"? Like, this guy's unprofessional.
Yeah.
Throw him under the bus. Like, that's a horrible thing to do.
I'd like to point out another meme I saw. It was, I don't remember who it was from, but it was somebody quoted it and was like, "Can you imagine Dustin Johnson and this guy doing a puzzle together?" I thought that was
That's awesome.
Would love to see that.
Yeah. The lefty in me only claims the round that he had post 2-stroke penalty. That's all we claim. We don't claim the time management skills.
And then ESPN was like trolling him on Friday, and they had like a timer. And he was like on the putting green, and they were like 8 minutes before tee time. They like had a countdown clock. I thought that was
that's incredible.
And SVP was needling him pretty good. I was happy about that. That was good stuff.
He's good at laying those jokes on pretty thick.
Yeah. David Puge. I love David Puge. I'm a big fan. The long sleeve shirt that's my vibe. His whole vibe is just, he's on the Live tour. He plays for the Los Fireballs, which whatever. He'll eventually get out of that. But yeah, I'm buying stock in David Puge Island right now. I think he's going to be a great player.
I like that. And did he qualify through world ranking points, or was it because he did pretty well last year in the PGA Championship, right?
Yeah, I can't remember why he's in. It might have been because he won a tournament or something. I'll look on that one, but yeah, he must have gotten in some way.
Yeah. There is while you're looking for that, I think we should talk about like kind of the rumblings of just why people hate this tournament. I don't really I think I kind of understand the other side where like No Laying Up and Fried Egg I feel like have good recaps, but they were kind of saying there's no like risk or reward for some of these shots. So I think I can kind of get that side. But for the most part, people are like, they're almost mad that Aaron Rai won. And it wasn't like the same 4 or 5 guys to win the major. Like they'd rather see the same guys winning all the time. Like, I don't know if y'all feel the same way. Like, I feel like that's why golf is awesome, because Aaron Rai, he's been doing better every year. Like this year in general, I think his highest finish was like 25th or something. And then he just comes out and beats all of these guys. They're playing the same course, and he ends up winning, so it's very interesting to see why people are so upset that it's not like a Scotty or a Rory winning.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what we talked about on our Masters episode when, you want to see those like legacy wins, like you want to see Scotty, rack up this big resume, but then like you also want to root for like the underdogs and the first timers. And that, at the same time, then, the Charles Schwartzel or Danny Willett Masters like feel like a waste, so it's tough. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know where I fall on that. It probably just depends on how much I like that golfer or not.
Would we be having the same conversation if Smalley won? Like, Aaron Rai is so nice and everyone is happy for him, but I don't really know too much about Smalley. Like, would it be the same interaction? Would it be the same situation if he would have won? Is kind of where my brain is.
I think Smalley is like almost more of an up and coming player, so it would have almost felt like it was like a welcome to the scene. Whereas I feel like Aaron Rai's been around for a while and almost feels like maybe he finally got one or just he snuck one or something. I don't know. It does. I did look it up. It does look like David Puge was awarded a special exemption by the PGA of America.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
What would you consider being around for a while? Because he's in his 5th year, so I feel like is that considered a long time?
He turned pro in 2017, so he's been a pro for a long time. But yeah, I guess this is his 5th year on the PGA Tour, so
gotcha.
I would say that's been around for a while. I don't think Smalley. I think he graduated from Duke in like, I don't know, the late 2020s or something. So he maybe hasn't been around for a ton of time.
Okay.
I have a question for you guys. Posted this on Twitter, under the covers golf. Would you rather have Aaron Rai's career or Ricky Fowler's career?
Ricky's.
Why?
Still win the Players. He still has wins. Just more, it seems, just more in general, I guess, fame and like all the fun that comes along with like, he just seems like a fun guy, I guess. So maybe I'm thinking more of like how much I like Ricky versus like Aaron Rai hasn't been all that like prevalent. And the PGA Championship is certainly the fourth important major. So I think I'd go Ricky.
And is this question like if both of their careers ended right now?
Right.
That's one of those questions. Okay. Yeah. It's a tough one because it's 2 versus 6 wins, one of them being a major, versus Ricky. Like Kevin said, he won the Players, which could be a 5th major. Who knows? Yeah, that's hard.
And he's got all the top, the top 3s in majors and stuff. He's like, Ricky like has a great resume, just not a major winner.
But Ricky or Aaron Rai has wins in Europe as well, and some pretty big wins in Europe, not just on a PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really know too many about those. Has Aaron Rai played on a Ryder Cup?
No,
because Ricky's played on several. That would be a huge determining factor.
You're right. You're right there. I would
Ricky's
probably go with the major championship. I would probably go with Aaron Rai. Strictly career, not sponsors, not fame. Strictly like, if I had to look at Ricky Fowler and I'm looking at the Rocket Classic, WM Phoenix Open, the Honda Classic, the Deutsche Bank Players, Wells Fargo, Hero World Challenge, like stuff like that, I would go Aaron Rai with one major if they ended right now.
Yeah, it's really hard because like Ricky has a longevity, very fun career, but then like you play golf so you can win majors. So you almost want to have a major under your belt. But then like, man, the other side is, do you get put in with those Danny Willets if that's your only win? Like people might call it a sham or whatever.
But Ricky Fowler might be grouped with Lee Westwood at the end of his career. Best players to never win a major.
Charles Barkley. Man, I don't even know if I have an answer.
And Lee Westwood was also, ranked number 2 in the world for how long? I don't think that's like, some homeless guy or something. It's like these are really great accomplishments from both of them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know.
I mean, would you rather be Aaron Rai or Danny Willett? I mean, like that the Masters versus the PGA Championship is a big difference to me.
Yeah.
So that seems closer, but like also like I don't know. It's just Danny Willett seems like a boring pick.
Danny Willett for sure. Masters over PGA, 100%.
Because then you get to play the Masters every year, which is sick.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's a good question. Well, Matt, let's dive into some golf news going on. I know there's some live news that happened recently.
Yeah, Liv is I guess preparing to file for bankruptcy at the end of the 2026 season.
Classic.
Shocker. That one's I guess, yeah. I mean, I have no idea who's gonna invest in Liv.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Yeah. I think it literally Liv might actually become what was portrayed on Happy Gilmore 2, maybe like whatever that thing was. Maybe Mr. Beast will buy it.
That'd be insane.
So I don't know, man. It seems like it's a dying thing. I think Bryson's out. I think John Rahm wants out. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure that out. Bryson went on a podcast today, and he thinks the moon landing is fake. With other things, which is just about the most Bryson thing you could absolutely say in the world. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, dude, why don't you go practice a little bit? I don't know.
Go touch some grass, dude.
Go touch some grass, man.
Maybe that's just what he was doing.
Yeah.
He loves being in the news.
He's definitely a media junkie for sure. Club changes. Some big ones. Cantlay put the GTS 4 driver in the bag, which is interesting. Not a ton of guys play the GTS 4. There's a guy at my club that plays the GTS 4, and he thinks it's right for him. Nobody else thinks it's right for him.
Cantley's the first one to do it, so we'll see how that goes.
I hope he's not listening, but you know who you are.
Supposedly the GTS 4 is more forgiving than any of the GT4, TSR 4s.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a more forgiving of the number 4 in the lineup, where it's almost more like the GT3, a lower spinning version of that, but still more forgiving. So it'd be interesting how many people throughout this year do put it in the bag.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin, have you heard anything? So Jason Day, he's been kind of playing around with it this year, but for the PGA Championship, he threw in the a Ping prototype mini driver to kind of replace his 3-wood because he wanted a 280, 290 yard club. I want to say to avoid all the bunkers that are kind of at that 300 mark. Have you seen anything of this Ping prototype?
Yeah, I saw when it came out on the USGA's conforming list, and then I feel like it just disappeared for a bit and wasn't that hot of an item. So this is the first that's kind of popped up since I feel like about January. But knowing Ping, I mean, they make just such forgiving woods. You get the smaller head, shorter shaft. I would just assume this is the ultimate fairway finder. I haven't personally swung one or anything. But just kind of thinking of how I feel about Ping woods, Ping drivers, and mini drivers, all about forgiveness and just finding fairways. I think this would be a fun one. Be fun to watch how that pans out for him.
I'm curious when it hits market, if it ever does.
Yeah.
Tommy Fleetwood, he loves changing clubs and kind of playing around with stuff, but he has a very precise short game. So he changed to the new SM11 and used a T-grind lob wedge during this tournament at the Mink. It has a low bounce and a narrow sole, so it kind of helps you with that firm turf that the Mink was kind of providing. So kind of just adjusting to the conditions, which definitely seems like Tommy Fleetwood. So that's kind of fun.
And getting away from TaylorMade too, putting the titles in the bag, which is interesting.
It is. And then I think the more interesting one out of the four, Michael Kim, he borrowed Max Homa's spare 4-wood because he had a 3-wood that cracked on Wednesday night, and then the equipment manufacturing truck had already left the tournament grounds. So Homa just let him have his extra 4-wood, and he used it for the tournament.
I don't think did Homa play very well. I don't think he ended up doing very well.
I think he missed
the cut. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing him on the coverage like once.
Mm-hmm.
But he probably was, just not when I was watching.
I hope he figures it out soon. I like Homa.
Yeah, I like Homa too. He hasn't, and since he went to Cobra, I feel like has not been good. But
yeah.
You guys homosexuals?
We're
perverts.
I think Homa's a good dude. I he hits pull cuts, and I'm part of the pull cut family. He's a big pull cutter. He's a big pull cutter of the golf ball. So.
Italian stallion.
Pull cuts. That would be a good hoagie name for a sandwich. The pull, like instead of cold cuts, pull cuts.
Ooh, trademark that now.
Yeah, let's put that one in the old memory. Let's put that one in the old memory bank, Dom.
I like that. Is there any more golf news that we got, guys?
I don't have anything. I think that's it. I think this is going to be a pretty quiet week down in the Big D at the CJ Cup. We can get into some preview.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. Short preview this week. The CJ Cup at Byron Nelson, or the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. The name has been chop screw. I feel like it just goes. It's been the AT&T Byron Nelson. It's been the Dallas something. It's been at Trinity Forest. It's been at Las Colinas Country Club. It's now at TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney, Texas. So
who?
Who? It's this is known to be one of the courses that the tour absolutely just tears apart. The guys shoot 25, 30 under this week. So last year, Lanny Watkins came in and did an entire redesign. A couple news and notes. TPC Craig Ranch. I have to stop myself from saying Craig James. Physically, it's hard to stop myself. Lanny Watkins came in and did a redesign. The course is owned by Invited. Do you guys know what Invited is?
I don't.
No.
Invited is formerly Club Corp, if you've heard Club Corp before.
Oh, okay.
Club Corp is a network of clubs, private clubs. Just a true bottom of the ocean organization. Terrible organization. They ruin clubs. They are out of Dallas. The chief executive officer has some good quotes here. His name is David Pillsbury. Can't make that one up. He went through this whole thing where he says, this renovation could have costed us $12 million, but we spent $25 million on this renovation. Like, just idiotic things. To wrap this whole tournament up, this tournament stinks. It stinks. It's they think they're going to get one of the, bigger tournaments starting in 2027. They're not. And I will be attending on Sunday, and I'll report back how much it does stink.
Love it. I do have a question for you, and I feel like any tournament that's hosted in Texas gets a lot of hate, and especially from you, or at least the ones in Dallas. Like, you really hate TPC Frisco, not a fan at all. So, like, what is it about these Dallas courses that like makes you cringe so much whenever they play there?
I don't hate the Colonial Tournament. I think the Colonial Tournament's great. I think that one's a good golf course.
Not
Hate
biased at
Memorial
all.
Park.
I don't mind Memorial Park. And Memorial Park's
That's
fine.
not what you said before.
I think there's a lot of great courses in Dallas. I think the problem with Dallas is they're visiting Dallas in the wrong time of the year. They need to be visiting Dallas in March, or they need to wait until October. October is our prime time of golf. Like that is the best time to visit Dallas, Texas. And the problem is they come in May, and in May it's raining and hailing and there's thunderstorms and it can be hot, it can whatever. So it's just bad timing. They just really like this tournament went to Trinity Forest. Trinity Forest is a cool golf course. If you don't know about it, it's a Core Crenshaw. It's like linksy feel. It's really cool. And all the PGA Tour players just were like, we hate it. It sucks. Like blah 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 blah. And they bodied them to get rid of it, and so now it's at we're gonna go make a zillion birdies TPC Craig Ranch. Just it's just a pitch and putt. So I don't know. It's just anything with TPC, anything with Club Corp, take it away. It's stuff. It stinks.
Yeah. Scotty won last year at 31 under, so
See,
big numbers.
31. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's ridiculous.
So I'm not a fan, but that's the preview. There's nothing else I have to say except don't tune in.
Love that. Just listen down to the covers next week.
Yeah,
You guys ready for some trivia?
let's hit it.
Let's do it.
So our old boy Byron, by CJ Cup, Byron Nelson. The trivia question is around Byron Nelson. So he set a PGA Tour record in beautiful 1945 by winning how many tournaments in a row? And then bonus point question, how many tournaments did he win in that season? As always, anyone gets it right, the other two chug a beer. Got to get it exact.
Oh, there's no plus minus.
Nope. PGA Tour record.
He won 10 tournaments in a row, and he won a record 20 times that season.
Okay.
Is it a record for the amount of wins he had that season too?
I don't think so. Let's confirm there.
I was reading a book about him, The Match, which if you haven't read it, would highly recommend it. It's a great book. But they were talking about this, and I can't
It is, yeah, both are record here.
Okay. Go on, man.
I would highly recommend it. But they talk about this run he went on of wins, but I just can't remember.
I was gonna go under you. For some reason, 14 is in my head. At first, I was going to say 7. I'm going to double it. 14 in a row. That seems like so many. But then the record for the wins. No, flip that. 7 is my answer for the in a row. 14 is total for the season.
Well, neither of you got it. The answer is 11 in a row. Matt was off by 1.
Dang!
And he won 18 events that season.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So
Yeah.
he owned beautiful 1945. If it's not like anything else was going on in the world at that time.
Definitely not. So is that still the record?
Yeah. Yep. Still the record.
Yeah, because that was when Ben Hogan, I believe that was kind of like when he got in his car crash. Like Ben Hogan really wasn't around. And that was like, so Byron tore up the tour for a while.
Yeah. The second most wins in a single season is 13. Ben Hogan, 11. Sam Snead, 10. Ben Hogan.
Yeah.
What was Tiger's most in one season? Does anyone know?
Is it like 8 or 9 or something?
Yeah, it wasn't as
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tiger won 9 times in 2000.
Dang. I thought
And
he'd be
then
closer. That's still a ton, but I thought they'd be closer.
Tiger won 8 times in a season 2 other times.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, well, no beer chug, but I think we can get into one and dones. So right now, we are currently around a halfway point for the rest of the season. We started at week 7, and then from there, there's 28 tournaments left. So now we're right at that 14 mark. So I think next week we're going to do a little halfway recap. Best finishes, worst finishes, average, how many players of our choices have missed cuts. If you have any ideas for us, just throw it in the comments and we can kind of use it for next week. It'd be kind of fun to see what people come up with if you're listening. But going into this recent week at the PGA Championship, our choices, Matt went with Scotty Scheffler, thoroughbred. Kevin went with Ludwig Oberg, and I went with Jon Rahm. So our finishing numbers, Scotty Scheffler was at T14, and for majors, we always double it. So that gives Matt 28 points. And then Ludwig was at T4, giving Kevin 8. And then Jon Rahm, classic Jon Rahm, he went with T2, giving me 4 points. He got the almost Grand Slam because he's been in the top 2 of every major so far. So our total points for one and dones, that leaves Matt at 629. Kevin, you're at 434, and Dominic is at 243. So with that, Matt, give us your choice for the one and done at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson.
At TPC Craig James. Chandler Phillips, I already picked him this season. Can't pick him again, unfortunately.
Who?
I am going with the other Højgaard twin that I didn't pick yet, Rasmus Højgaard. I think he's going to destroy this golf course.
All right. Kevin, who do you got?
So before I make my pick, Dom, a question for you. So when you're making your picks and you clearly see who we're going to pick, that just like filters down your list. So then you can just destroy us every week, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like amazing how we can't catch any ground on you. It's like you picked Jon Rahm, who we've been like ripping for being Matt, what did you call him? Like, you had like a nickname for him, like a backup player or something like that.
I don't remember. Is he did I call him a backup quarterback? Or no, he's
something like.
Yeah. I don't know. We might have to go back and watch.
Yeah, we'll have to go back. Anyways, we are ripping him, saying he doesn't know how to win anymore, that he wins the live tournaments that don't even matter, and then comes out and gets like T2 in the PGA Championship. I thought when you picked him, I was like, all right, we got him. Like, this is the week to catch up. He's going to miss the cut. Nope, T2. So I feel like us drafting first might be to our detriment.
Whenever y'all say, ooh, bad pick, that's how I know I got a winner.
But we say that to Matt too.
It's true. The thing with Jon Rahm, like you just said, he's been winning or second place in every live tournament, so he's doing well. He's not playing bad. Like, he's not winning, and that's not what we're going for with one and dones. And like, you kind of just look up. Actually, I won't give you my strategy, but you can't really use any live guys throughout the year, so why not use them in a major? It was a little risky, but I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. Anywho,
Alejandro Tosti is on the board if you guys want him.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna...
he was clearly in my thought process there. I'm going to go with a guy who just eats up Texas golf. This might come back to bite me. Wait, should I do it?
Are you
I'll
going to
just
pick
burn
who
it.
I
All
think
right.
you're going to pick?
Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, no.
I already pre-bought Rory for the U.S. Open, so that just means for the Open, I'm not using Scotty. So
Damn. Okay, that's fun. I hope he goes 38 under. That'd be so sick.
he's gonna withdraw for sure.
So I am gonna go with, and I think Matt was going to guess this. I'm gonna go with another guy who loves Texas golf. Similar to Scotty Chef, he's finished top 5 in the last 3 years at this tournament, top 10 in 2021. He missed a cut by 1 stroke in 2024, so we're going to ignore that. Jordan Speed.
I knew it. I'm so happy.
Someone had to. You know what I mean? Let's just hope he doesn't repeat 24.
My other choice.
Kevin, we're totally making up ground this week.
Dude, as soon as you said Texas golf, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, no way he's going to go Scotty.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a wasted pick, but Jordan will miss the cut. Scotty's going to win.
Yeah.
There we go. Bing, bang, boom. I'm back in it.
This could be it, because you're what? You're under 200 points behind me. So you're totally catching ground. It just takes a couple.
Mark this the day, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson as the day that started the comeback.
Massive news for the people. Well, beautiful.
I love it.
I think that's about it. PGA Championship in the books, coming up on the Byron Nelson. Like Matt said, might be a little quieter of a week, but still going to be good. Thank you for listening. Follow us on our socials, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Under the Covers Golf. Check out our website, underthecoversgolf.com. We'll see you next week.
To people putting their username on TikTok, would you tell your mom that this is your username? I've seen some terrible usernames this last week. Peace.
Peace.
He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I flush in, I don't stick divots.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.